Hi, and welcome to FYI Hair. I am here to do a demonstration on a blunt one-length cut for you. What this means is that we are going to give this mannequin, Deborah, a haircut. And I'm going to be using shears only. How I teach my students, if a client comes in and they're looking for a good trim, the main thing we want to first look at is what amount of hair is fragile and needs to be cut off. So I always confirm with my client, Mrs. Jones. I'll use her as a teaching name. It looks to me like you need about 4 inches off your ends in order to get to where the hair is the healthiest. Now, I personally prefer to cut the hair dry when they're coming in for a cleanup of their length. Therefore, what I do is I'll use a little shine spray. This just happens to be Chi. Doesn't matter whose company you go with. If you purchase a generic brand at Sally's or you go with a professional brand, as long as it does the job, it does not matter how much you pay for the product. Okay, so what I do is I'll put a little bit of the shine spray after I shake it on my hands, and I'll just run it through the hair. I don't need to put too much on the ends, knowing that I'm going to be giving her a trim. Once I've done that, I'm going to take and I'm going to pie out her hair so I can run an iron over it quickly using a butterfly clip. This is called a butterfly clip. And I'm just going to quickly go in according to her density. That means how much hair per square. So with this young lady, because she has less hair per square, I'm able to make a larger sectioning. If the lady has a lot of density, obviously I would not be able to take this much hair to run an iron through it. But because her hair is already straight, I'm able to just run right through it quickly. I have just completed flat ironing Deborah's hair. The reason why, again, you're going to use a shine spray, and you will see some steam from the oils in the spray when you run it over with the iron. It is to protect and nourish the hair and put the oils in the hair that are needed. So don't be alarmed if you see some steam coming out as you run the iron through. Now, again, how I prefer to trim hair, and another beautician or teacher or whoever is going to differ. It's according to the person. So you can wet just the ends before you cut them. So even though I flat ironed the hair to balance out the porosity of the client, in this case Deborah's hair, you can, after you get all the S shape out of the hair, you can go in and you can just moisten the ends of the hair before you trim them. Some people prefer that, or you can just simply cut her fragile ends off dry. So the first thing that you need to do is always confirm with your client, Mrs. Jones, how much hair would you like off, or make your recommendation. So in this case, what I'm going to do is have Mrs. Jones slightly look forward. Even though she is a mannequin, in real life, no one walks like this. Therefore, do not cut their hair like that. Always have it where their chin is slightly down, so they're in a natural, their posture is natural, how they're going to be walking. Because if you cut it straight like this, as soon as they bend down a little bit to be in their natural position, you're going to see a roller coaster of hair. Okay? So, even though she is a mannequin, I'm going to treat her the same way. Now, because her hair ends are fragile enough, I do not need to piece this up. What I mean is I'm able to comb this all down, and I'm going to take a small section of hair and I'm going to cut. That is called a guide. So for this haircut, we're looking at about 7 inches of hair. And how I measure is from the hairline at the nape all the way down 7 inches. And then I'm going to cut. Now, make sure that what you do is that you hold the hair tight and do not cut with your scissors. Cut with your eyes, because that's, you know, truthfully what you need to do. And never cut up to your fingers, because if you look, your fingers may not be straight. All right? Okay, so I'm going to make my first cut here by holding the hair down at a 90-degree elevation. Okay, so now once I have my main guide in, I'm going to bring my guide around to the front. Okay, so I've just demonstrated my first cut for a blunt cut. Again, keeping in mind that you're cutting with your eyes and not with your scissors. You're going to put tension, hold it down at a 0-degree elevation. That means at 6 o'clock. And then you're going to cut away from your guide. I'm going to move Deborah over so that you can see. Again, I'm going to comb straight down, and I'm going to pinch the hair tight, and then I can hold it up to me. Again, I'm going to take a section of hair and I'm going to cut and bring my guide all the way down to the front. Then I'm going to pick Deborah up, and I'm going to continue to do the same on this side, except for now I'm going to be cutting to my guide because I'm right-handed, and therefore I have to cut to my guide instead of away from my guide. Tension, then you can pinch the hair. And what I mean by that is just hold it tight and you can bring it towards you. And my last cut. Now, even though we did everything correctly, we need to stand in front of our client, and we're going to take a small point guide of the hair and make sure that we didn't miss any wispies. And then we're going to backtrack and bridge it and make sure everything is even. And another way of doing that is by taking and holding the hair tight, pulling down, and holding it. And here there's about a 1/4 inch discrepancy. I always say no more than a 1/4 inch discrepancy. So I'm just going to take her and I'm just going to bridge it a little bit better. So I'm just going to back up and remove just a 1/4 inch. And that's it. I thank you for watching, and my next video is going to be putting angles in on Deborah. So please stay tuned.